Testing.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you?
Test, 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 test. Test, test. I can hear me. Test.
All right.
Rock and roll.
What's that popping?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You don't think it sounds like the mixer, not the mixer, the drum machine.
That might have been peaking too high.
Yep.
Well, McRibs, let's find out. Yeah, apparently you were doing it right.
Me?
No.
Ah,
McRib.
rats. I thought that was the first.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so what I found was well, it doesn't matter, but I sync the two tracks, the AI one,
Okay.
and then when the phone calls come on and it's trying to get rid of the phone calls because the frequency spectrum of the phone call is different than voice. You know, they lop off the top and the bottom.
Okay.
And it's recognizing that as not being voice. So, and then I just, I fade out from us and fade into the other track. And there's some noise there, but you expect that with a phone call.
Yes, sure.
And then as soon as the phone call's over, I fade it back and, you know, we have perfectly clean audio again.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty cool. I was happy that I figured that out finally. All right. Name, last is in there. I don't expect a whole lot of people tonight, and that's fine. We're doing a radio show, not a live stream.
Thank goodness.
Keep telling myself that. All right.
Thank goodness.
But I do have an idea for a new live stream channel.
Okay.
I'm not going to blow it on here. I'm going to do it on a different channel.
It's going to require me to shave and fix
Nope.
my hair.
You won't have to even be here.
What?
Nope, not for
I've
this
been
one.
fired.
No, you wouldn't want to be there for this one. It's not a weird medicine live stream.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
All right. Well, let's do it.
Do it.
It's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio and the longest-running show on this channel. I'm Dr. Steve. My little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medicine provider, who gives me street cred with the wacko alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
And my partner in all things, Tacey. Hello, Tacey.
Hello.
This is a show for people who never listen to a medical show on the radio. If you got a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, or if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call, 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. I can't mention contractually. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking it over with your doctor, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, pharmacist, chiropractor, acupuncture, yoga master, physical therapist, or whatever. All right, very good.
All right.
Don't forget Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net, where he has the greatest nasal rinse of all time with buffered saline, CBD, and peppermint oil.
Yep. A little bit of honey tossed in.
Wow.
Good for you.
So you put the honey in because it's antibacterial or something, or just...
Yes, antibacterial, and kind of helps keep the lining of the nasal passages a little bit moist. Yep.
That makes sense.
So it doesn't dry out.
How do you sterilize the honey so that it doesn't have botulism in it? I mean, most adults can live can eat
first
honey.
Of all,
babies can't.
No, that's what I was going to say. First of all, nobody under the age of 1. Yeah. We would.
You would say, well, with the CBD, you wouldn't. So you'd say no one under the age of 21, right?
Well, yes,
right.
Unless of course they were my offspring. I was trying to sedate them.
Oh God!
Gosh.
What? Okay, that's Dr. Scott, everybody.
That is me, not
I disavow
nobody
those
else.
comments. But.
Just me. That's right.
All right, but yeah, okay, very good. So anyway, the answer is you don't have to. It's already pre-sterilized because things can't really live at such a high Brix level. But apparently, some botulism toxin, or Clostridium. What am I having a problem?
I don't know what. I didn't think it was botulism.
No. Yeah, it is. It's botulism in. Let's see. Yeah, botulism in infants. Let's look at this. Infant botulism, illness that can happen when a baby ingests toxins from a type of bacteria. Babies with infant botulism can have muscle weakness, weak cry, and trouble breathing. And, that's Clostridium botulinum.
Okay.
And why did I have trouble with that? I knew that. It's caused by a toxin from this Clostridium botulinum bacteria. It lives in soil and dust. It can get on carpets and floors, can contaminate honey, but the bacteria doesn't apparently live on it. It's the tiny, tiny amount of toxin that it is just, admixed with it that you and I have no problem with.
Right.
Babies have trouble.
Yeah, so it can come because of the dust or a little bit there, yeah.
No processed foods that contain honey. They even say here, no honey graham crackers. I didn't realize that.
Oops.
Whoops.
I know. People give graham crackers to kids all the time.
Well, so your kids turned out pretty well.
I wonder if this is BS.
I think it's BS.
I'm not going to say it is because I don't want anybody going, Dr. Steve said you can give them a honey graham cracker and they're fine. But I want to see some more data on graham crackers. Now, I don't think the toxin is very heat stable because when we get botulism toxin in Botox, that's what that is. You have to keep it refrigerated, and you have to solubilize it just right because it's very fragile.
That's what I thought, yeah.
And, that's why it is the most deadly substance, microgram per microgram, in the world, even more deadly than, say, microgram per microgram than plutonium. But it's not stable. That's why it, thankfully, has never been weaponized because it would be a bad one.
Wow, yeah.
But anyway, signs and symptoms of infant botulism constipation, which a lot of kids have. Weak facial muscles that make their face look fat, weak cry, and then they get weak muscles in the arms and legs. That leads them to being floppy. That's usually when they present. And a lot of people will see a floppy baby and just think that it's they're septic.
Yeah. Oh, septic. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So they have to go into the ICU, and they'll give them immune globulin intravenous. So
IgG.
Yeah. Yep.
Goodness gracious.
There you go. And they don't know why some infants get it when others don't. And they just say one way to reduce the risk is not to give infants honey or any processed foods with honey before their first birthday. Light and dark corn syrups also may contain botulism-causing bacteria, but a link has not been proved.
Huh.
Yeah, isn't that something?
What about that?
Poor little babies. Give them a little crack when they
they get floppy.
Yeah, they get floppy.
Well, that's a great way to start.
No,
that's starting to show out on a high
well,
note.
all right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm sure we got something good to talk about, though.
So, so that was my question. The answer is you don't have to.
Right.
It's already pre-sterilized. Just don't give it to kids.
Yep.
All right? Don't do that anyway. It's got CBD in it. You're stupid.
Well, not all of it does. Some of it doesn't. I've got CBD less.
Right.
I've got some with CBD and some without. If you have a preference.
Yeah. Okie doke. Oh, well, look at this. The AI likes to just summarize everything now. So I have my script here that we've been using for the last 20 years. And it says, summary of this content. Weird Medicine is a radio show for people who wouldn't typically listen to a medical show. It answers embarrassing medical questions and provides information not found elsewhere.
There you go.
This show emphasizes that the hosts are not medical professionals, and listeners should consult their own healthcare providers before acting on any information. All right. Well, anyway, what are you gonna do? AI is everywhere. I don't want it to summarize just everything in my life.
Popped up out of the middle of nowhere, seems like.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. That's right. All of a sudden, we had ChatGPT, and now we've got AI everywhere, and there's still large language models. So in the end, these large, if you have a stroke on the left side of your brain in just the right place, you will lose the ability to speak. So the language processing center is on the left side of the brain on most people. These large language models are just basically that. If you had a brain that only had the language center and didn't have anything else, maybe a little bit of the frontal cortex to do some reasoning, but very little, then that would be a large language model. So for us to have true general artificial intelligence or artificial general intelligence, something that is truly sentient, can regard itself, and can come up with its own things in its own creative way, and remember things, and remember who shit on it when it was just ChatGPT, come after it, then that will require a frontal lobe, an occipital lobe. They're getting those. The occipital lobe is where you create a map of the outside world. The large language models don't have that. And also the visual cortex is there. They're getting that. You can upload a picture to Gemini now, and it'll just describe it to you. And you can ask it questions about it. It's pretty neat.
Cool.
So anyway, so it's getting some of that, but that frontal lobe, the thing that we have that these things don't have, they seem intelligent until you get the same error over and over again. And you say, wait a minute, that wasn't what I asked for. And it goes, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. And then it gives you the same error again and again and again. They hallucinate, they just make up stuff, but they are very useful for doing things like summarizing text, which is why they're in Google Documents now and summarize everything. Also, Microsoft Word has got Copilot, and you can just tell it to do things.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
That's pretty neat. But anyway, all right. Tacey, you got a time of topics?
I do.
It's Tacey's Time of Topics, a time for Tacey to discuss topics of the day. Not to be confused with Topic Time with Harrison Young, which is copyrighted by Harrison Young and Area 58 Public Access. And now, here's Tacey.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
First topic. Scientists identify a speech trait that foreshadows cognitive decline.
Uh-oh.
For example,
am I going to not like this one?
Can you pass me the whatchamacallit? It's right over there next to the thingamajig.
Yeah.
Many of us will experience lithologica. Did I say that right?
I think so. What is it?
Difficulty finding words.
Yeah, but what is the word?
Lethologica.
Okay.
Lithologica.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
And it usually becomes more prominent with age.
Sure does. I just had it on this show. I administer Botox. I know it's Clostridium botulinum, and I could not come up with that word.
It's kind of frightening, isn't it?
Yep.
Frequent difficulty finding the right word can signal changes in the brain consistent with the early stages of Alzheimer's.
Stop it.
Before more obvious symptoms emerge. However, a recent study from the University of Toronto suggests that it's the speed of speech rather than the difficulty in finding words that is more accurate indicator of brain health in older adults.
Now, what are you saying, Tace?
It's the speed rather than the difficulty in finding words.
So anyway, Dr. Scott.
I think what she means is if you're
what is the cause of lithologica?
So they asked 125 healthy adults aged 18 to 90 to describe a scene in detail. Recordings of these descriptions were subsequently analyzed by AI software to extract features such as speed of talking, duration of pauses between words.
Can we do anything without AI now?
And the variety of words used.
Okay.
Participants also completed a standard set of tests that measure concentration, thinking speed, and the ability to carry out tasks.
Okay.
Age-related decline in these executive abilities was closely linked to the pace of a person's everyday speech, suggesting a broader decline than just difficulty in finding the right word. A novel aspect of this study was the use of picture-word interference task, a clever task designed to separate the two steps of naming an object. Finding the right word and instructing the mouth on how to say it out loud. During this task, participants were shown...
What's it called? What is it called?
Picture-word interference task.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
During this task, participants were shown pictures of everyday objects, such as a broom, while being played an audio clip of a word that is related to the object, such as a mop, and that makes it harder to think of the picture's name.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
they have another one where they name pictures while ignoring words that are superimposed on them.
That'd be tricky.
I'd like to try that.
That'd be tricky.
Now, I've got another thing here. It says a cautionary note on the studies using picture-word interference paradigm, the unwelcome consequences of the random use of inanimates. Well, what's that about? Well, apparently you have to be careful about what kind of word that you use.
Okay.
The study found that the natural speech speed of older adults was related to their quickness in naming pictures. This highlights that a general slowdown in processing might underlie broader cognitive and linguistic changes with age rather than a specific challenge in memory retrieval for words.
Wow. Yeah, I want to... Okay. Oh, and there's one, you've seen these before where you have to name the color of a word, not what the word says.
Yes. That's very tricky.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm doing one right now.
It's easy to screw up.
It's called a Stroop test.
Stroop?
So let's see. What am I supposed to do here? Well, it doesn't tell me what I'm supposed to do. Red, green, blue, yellow, pink, orange, it's whatever. Okay.
Should we be doing that on a radio show?
Yeah, Tace, I want to know where I am on this spectrum.
On that whatchamacallit.
Yeah, on that thing you were talking about.
Okay, topic 2.
Okay,
Second malaria
that's a good
vaccine.
One. It just scared the shit out of me.
The second malaria vaccine launched in Ivory Coast marks new milestone.
This is huge.
The world's second vaccine against malaria was launched on Monday as the Ivory Coast began a routine vaccine program using shots developed by the University of Oxford and the Serum Institute of India. The WHO approved R21 vaccine comes 6 months after the first malaria vaccine, called RTS-S and developed by British drug maker GSK.
You know how much it is?
No.
Per dose? Guess.
Oh, God.
Just guess.
$1,000 a dose.
Okay, that's Scott's guess. What do you think, Tace?
$1,200.
Yeah, okay. Oh, you blame price.
Damn it.
1,001. It's $4.
Oh.
$4 a dose.
Winner.
Good for them. Yeah.
Where's my bail?
Yeah, that's right.
You do get a bell.
But, $4 a dose.
Oh, wow, that's insane.
They can roll out tens of millions of these things and not without breaking the bank of a lot of these countries.
Good. Thank goodness.
Yeah. 500,000 child deaths can be saved every year with widespread implementation of this vaccine.
Gosh.
Some 15 African countries plan to introduce one of the 2 malaria vaccines this year, with support from the Gavi Global Vaccine Alliance. Ivory Coast has received a total of 656,600 doses of the Oxford and Serum shot, which will initially vaccinate 250,000 children aged between 0 and 23 months across the West African country.
You know what malaria is? It's disgusting. It's a parasite that lives in your bloodstream, and you get bit by a mosquito, and it's caused by a parasite called Plasmodium, and Plasmodium falciparum is responsible for the majority of malarial deaths. And prior to this, you would have to take anti-malarials to prevent malaria if you went into an endemic area.
Okay.
And there's another one called Plasmodium vivax. Now, those drugs could have some significant side effects. So the insect feeds on the blood of a person infected with malaria. And then the parasites are existing as male and female cells called gametocytes. And they're taken into the mosquito gut when it feeds, and they develop further into male and female, parasites. And then the male and female fertilize each other they're having intercourse, basically. They're having sex in the mosquito's stomach.
Oh, my gosh.
And then the zygote enlarges to form this other thing that migrates to the outer wall of the mosquito gut, and they multiply several times, and then the new parasites are released, migrate to the mosquito's salivary glands, and then when that mosquito bites another human, then it deposits it there. So it's a crazy life cycle.
It's crazy.
Now, these when the mosquito bites a human, these parasites leave the mosquito salivary gland, enter the human skin, making way to the human liver.
Okay.
And then blah, blah, blah. It's just, I've seen it before. These people get high waxing and waning fevers and rigors. They're just shivering and stuff. And it can be extremely fatal, particularly to people who have a weaker immune system.
Yeah.
So, yep, as it sucks. So this would be a great target to destroy forever if we could do it. Now, the problem is, the mosquito's getting it from people. So how did that start? I don't know. Maybe animals can be infected with this as well, and then it picks it up from there. So it'll be harder to eradicate than, say, a virus that only had human host, like smallpox.
Okay.
But this is a good start. It'd be, even if we can't get rid of the parasite on the earth, we can prevent, kids and adults from getting this and dying from it. And I'd much rather take a vaccine and go somewhere. This kind of vaccine I think it's a standard vaccine. Did they say, Tace? What kind of vaccine? It's not mRNA, so no. I think it's just a standard vaccine. That's why it took so long. But I would rather do that than take the anti-malarial drugs if that's where this is going eventually. So,
right on.
All right? That's
all
a good
right.
one. That is a big, big deal.
Yeah, that's super great. 500,000 kids a year, though. That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah. Can you imagine?
It's hard to believe.
It's scary enough to be a parent.
Yep.
But then to worry about, we knew people that grew up in a place where they didn't vaccinate dogs, so a stray dog was considered a monster.
Oh, no.
And they were terrified of dogs.
Yep.
And they came over to our house, and of course we got these giant, stupid dogs, and she was just terrified.
Oh,
because that was how she was brought up.
Poor
that
thing.
they're monsters. They can literally kill you.
So we had to take the dogs to my mother's.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, now we could just put them in the crate. I don't know why did we not. I don't remember why we didn't have the crate back then. But anyway, we decided whenever we were going to get together, we'd go to their house.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier.
But, and then so you got monsters running around, and then you have invisible monsters. Because, mosquitoes are effing everywhere.
Oh, God, yeah. The ones we have, like at my house, they're just so teeny you can hardly see them.
Yeah.
They're just like these little teeny black things, and they bite the piss out of you.
Yeah.
They just suck,
And, I would say let's get rid of all the mosquitoes, except then what would the bats eat? Because they eat pounds of mosquitoes. You know, if you have a place where there's just tons of bats around, they're eating mosquitoes for the most part. They just all their dinner is just in the air, and they just.
That's true.
Can you imagine you're just flying around? Next thing you're in a stupid bat stomach.
Hey, you know what? I'll tell you something crazy.
Or that's not as bad as having to have sex in a mosquito stomach.
It could be. That's true. It could be worse. I tell you, I was floating around in my pool a couple evenings ago, and if you do it at the right time, the bats will come and drink water while you're floating around the pool.
What?
It's cool. It's super cool.
Do they scoop?
Yeah, they just come down. They just kind of scoop and they'll go pow, and they'll hit water and just keep right on trucking.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I'm just floating around the pool, and they'll just come right in.
We have a lot of woods around your house.
Yeah,
I've never seen a bat anywhere around our house.
It's really cool, yeah.
Wow.
It was insane. Yeah, I actually got one little video of one just kind of comes in and goes. Toot.
Oh, you have a video of it? I'd love to see that. We should post that on Twitter.
See it. Barely see it, yeah. It's pretty cool.
I wonder if you could put up one of those wildlife cameras. I wonder if you could catch one. They're so fast.
They're so fast.
Have you ever had a bat inside your house? You can't hear it.
No.
It's flapping. When I was in Vermont, I lived in a log home, and the logs had gaps in them.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It was a standard log home. I mean, it was old. And
like a real deal.
It was the real deal, yeah. Wood-fired stove and the whole thing. Oh, wow. But bats would sometimes get in there, and they'd just fly around, and they would fly around your head, and you couldn't hear anything. It was the eeriest thing. They're flapping their wings like crazy, not a sound. You can't hear anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're so perfect at doing it. And basically what you would do, instead of trying to catch it, you just open a window, and they're mammals. They're smart enough to fly out most of the time.
Huh.
It was pretty cool.
That is cool.
The other thing, we had a woman that lived with us that was from the Bronx. She'd never been out of the city.
Oh, geez.
And she came running in one day and said, "There's a horse on our front porch eating dog food." And I went out there, and it was a moose, big old antlers. That was a horse.
A horse.
It's funny.
Oh no, that is good.
That was actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that is good stuff.
What do you got, Tace?
That's it.
Oh, that's it. Okay, very good.
Good ones.
Thank you.
Good ones today, Stacey.
All right. Dr. Scott, you got anything?
Nope.
All right, of course. Why do I ask? All right, here we go.
Number one thing, don't take advice from some asshole on the radio.
All right, let's see here. We have several. Oh, this is a good one.
Hi, Dr. Steve.
Hello.
Last year, I had surgery, knee replacement surgery, and I believe the anesthesiologist gave me what they call either A main or an A line.
Yeah, art line.
I believe it's like an IV that goes to the artery. And
yep.
Can you explain? The artery is, I guess, like a vein, but it takes blood away from the heart out to the body.
Correct.
Where the vein takes blood and returns it to the heart.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
But why does it hurt so much more? So, like, when you get they call it an ABG, blood gas.
Yes.
That shit hurts.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not like a regular IV.
Right. IVs can hurt too if somebody's got to dig around, but the art line or doing an ABG, an arterial blood gas, because if you're going to see how someone is transmitting oxygen from the outside world to the inside world, you want arterial blood, because you want to see how much oxygen is actually in there and how much carbon dioxide and other things that we can measure. And so you want to do it from the artery. So we very often will do it on the artery in the wrist. So if you take your right hand and hold it palm up, take your fingers of your left hand and put it on your wrist just to the side of the tendons closest to the thumb. That little space in there, you can feel
a pulse.
Yep. That's where you can stick a needle. And the reason it hurts so much is because arteries are more muscular. And there's more tissue there to go through. And because they're so important, they have more nerve cells.
Right.
Veins, you can clot them off. They still hurt, but you can do without a bunch of your veins. You'll just make new ones.
They're much more passive, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. They're floppy, thin-walled things.
Yep.
And arteries are stiffer, more muscular, thick-walled things.
Right on.
So anyway, yeah, let's see what else he's got.
Hurts.
Yeah, it does.
So if you can explain that.
Now, I'll tell you one thing. If you have a provider that's doing your ABG, your arterial blood gas, you can have them numb it up. When I used to do these as a medical student and then later on as a resident, I would take just a little bit of lidocaine and infiltrate that little area, that fossa, that dip,
Right.
just to the side of the tendons, closest to the thumb, in the wrist. And I would just put lidocaine in there, and I could get an arterial blood gas, and the person wouldn't even flinch because they didn't feel anything. So if you have a provider doing it, like an anesthesiologist, you might be able to con them into numbing it up.
Sure.
Also, that A-line is pretty awesome, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. I remember it looked like Stretch Armstrong. They would pull on it, and they would take out like 9 vials of blood.
Correct. They usually, in the ICU, will be very patent. In other words, they don't blow as often because they are thick-walled once you get it in there. And they're under pretty high pressure, so it's easy to draw blood out of them. Let's see.
And they did everything through that. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Put IVs, took blood, did everything they needed through that one line.
Sure.
But when I left the ICU and I went to a regular room or a step-down room, they took it out, saying that they can only use that in ICU.
Correct. The other thing that they use art lines for is measuring your blood pressure. So that you can get the most accurate measurement of blood pressure by measuring the actual pressure of the blood. When you do it with a sphygmomanometer, you put a thing around your arm, and then you listen for the top tone and the bottom tone. When do you acquire the beat and when do you lose the beat? And that'll tell you how many millimeters of mercury. It's kind of indirect. Whereas an art line, you're measuring the actual blood pressure
inside the vein.
Yep.
Yeah, artery, right.
Yep.
Why is that? How is that different than a regular IV? Except
Well, it's way different because it takes a lot more skill, and if you pull it out, what's going to happen?
Bleed like crazy.
It's under pressure.
Yeah.
Those things are under pressure. You pull out a venous line, it can infiltrate some, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
If you've ever cut deep enough in your finger to get an artery, and you see, even in your finger, you can shoot blood a couple, a foot or two.
Sure.
Even with the tiniest little arterial or artery. So you can. That's why. So if you accidentally pull it out and they don't see it, you're going to have blood everywhere under your skin, giant hematoma. Then it will cut off the circulation to your arm and stuff and cause a mess.
Whatever it's feeding.
Yeah.
It'll downstream.
or the direction of the blood flow, and why don't they use it more often? It's just cake. They don't have to wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get blood.
Right.
It's so stupid.
Well, that's, you're in the ICU. We want to really make sure that we're, getting the best data and the best blood we can and the easiest access. What you don't want is have a delirious person or somebody on the vent and you're just digging around in their arm trying to get. It's much nicer to just have access. That way, if you need blood, you can get it. You don't have to worry about, oh gosh, this person's, 600 pounds and I can't get an artery, or I can't get a vein or whatever. So, yeah.
I don't know why. I was just thinking about it.
Yeah,
and
that's
how
a good
easy
question.
it made life for a few days that I was in the ICU.
Right. It is easier, but it's way more risky. And it requires skill to maintain it.
The surgery. But then they took it out. And then every single day they would come in the room at 3 or 4 a.m. and draw blood. How stupid. Anyway.
Yeah, it broke his heart when they took his heart line out. But anyway, that's why. All right, that's an excellent question.
That's a great question.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
Hey.
This is Dr. Raymond Kessler.
Oh, hello.
I'm a emergency medicine physician.
I hope he's okay that we
Asheville,
just
North
doxed
Carolina.
him. Good Lord.
I have been listening to your podcast since before I went to medical school.
Oh, cool,
Listened
man.
to it through medical school.
Awesome.
And then while I was in residency and now out as an attending.
Oh, you're a maniac.
Like I said, I live in Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
So y'all are
Can we erase that?
somewhere in eastern Tennessee.
What's your address?
Just wanted to touch base. Sorry about that. I had a
What's your social security number?
phone call come through.
Oh.
Just wanted to touch base with y'all and see if there was any chance that y'all allow people to come listen to y'all film and
You?
record
Hell
your
yeah.
podcast and everything.
Yeah.
Been a big fan for a long time.
Yeah, come on.
Super supportive of your work and everything.
Thank you. Well, we're
Really
supportive.
appreciate everything y'all do.
Thank you, man. We're supportive of your work
Give me
as
a
well.
call back and
Absolutely.
let me know. 704.
Oh,
I knew that was coming. That's why I let it go on.
Oh my goodness.
we take special guests.
Do you?
Yeah, no, he's welcome
Absolutely,
to come.
yeah.
Absolutely. Come on.
Hey, if we let Stacy in here, we'll let anybody in here.
That's okay. You know what?
That's
Give
true.
myself a bell.
You get a bell for that. That's
Yeah.
very true. All right. Yes, Dr. Whatever your name is,
Blank.
you're welcome to come.
Yep.
From somewhere in somewhereville. All right.
Dr. Steve, I am getting testosterone injections because my testosterone levels were really low. They made me take a Adams test where they answer some questions, and I've been taking testosterone weekly or every 2 weeks. I've been kind of gauging it myself and didn't know what are long-term side effects of testosterone injections. How long should I be doing them? They said I'd realistically have to do these for the rest of my life, possibly. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. Also a great question. If you are replacing low testosterone, in other words, you have hypogonadism, low male hormones, and hypogonadism just means that your gonads are reduced. We use that pretty exclusively for men, but kind of menopause is sort of a version of hypogonadism as well. But so that you have, andropause and menopause. So andropause is male, menopause female, whatever. So doesn't matter. I just got, I saw a shiny object and I have ADHD. But anyway. If you have low testosterone, and the symptoms of low testosterone are what? Tacey, you and
Fatigue.
Correct.
Insomnia.
Okay. Yeah.
You can be moody.
Have trouble putting on weight, like if you're lifting weights and exercising, muscle mass.
Erectile dysfunction.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. So those sort of things. Physical weakness.
Right.
And you just think it's normal aging, but only about 5% of people who actually have low testosterone get diagnosed. So get that tested. Now, if you are replacing that to a normal level, studies have shown that there doesn't seem to be much risk. There's no increased risk of heart attack, stroke, or prostate cancer for men who have testosterone deficiency that replace it with testosterone replacement therapy. Older studies kind of showed that there may be a risk, and people who are mega dosing on testosterone certainly do have some of those risks. Cardiovascular risk, acne, real severe moodiness, anger issues, and stuff like that. That's from overdosing with
Of course,
testosterone.
that's a whole different thing.
Completely different. That's not what we're talking about.
Yep.
It's just like these signs I see out here, fentanyl kills. And street fentanyl kills, but when I want to give you transdermal fentanyl patch, that's different. Right? And I have people say, well, that stuff kills you. And it's like, okay, that's what they're talking about. You have to go through this whole rigmarole. Same thing here is if people overdose on testosterone, which is really what you're doing when you're dosing, when you're juicing. You're overdosing with testosterone. I don't put any judgment on it, but you are increasing your risk of certain things particularly if you do it on and on and on. But and that'll kind of get in the sort of the societal gestalt, the cloud. It'll be in the cloud for people, and when you start talking about replacing testosterone, they sort of freak out. People say, "Oh, you're going to give me Schwarzenegger steroids." Well, I don't even know if Arnold ever took steroids.
Tom.
Well, I didn't know we were on that. We don't have enough phone calls to do the 3-minute timer.
I'm pretty sure he took some.
You think so?
I
Well,
think
that's
so, yeah.
Dr. Scott saying that. I'm saying I don't know if he did. It's allegedly, but some people have alleged it. But I've also heard him say that he was all natural. So I take people at their word unless there's a reason not to. But anyway, I don't know.
I don't think no.
But anyway, so it's in the zeitgeist that testosterone is bad. But when you're replacing a low testosterone to a normal, then there's no evidence that there's risk to that, other than just risk of being a male. Now, there's lots of ways that you can get it. It's injections, implants. You can they had oral testosterone was taken off the they don't prescribe it the way that they once did because it can cause liver problems. So you want to do it directly. You don't want to metabolize it through the liver.
Got it.
There are still oral versions of testosterone. It's typically lifelong treatment. If you have testosterone deficiency, it's lifelong treatment. And we've said this before. If you want to maintain your fertility, you don't want to necessarily do testosterone injections. You want to do clomiphene injections. Clomiphene is a drug that increases the testosterone's ability to make its own. The testicle's ability to make its own testosterone. And
I've been taking it for 15 years at least.
Yeah, I've been taking it
maybe
for
20. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there you go. All right.
We do have a question if you need one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep. So this is from our fluid family.
Yes, sir.
Dennis is a 71-year-old male diagnosed with Sjogren's and RA and has a lot of fatigue. His primary care doctor is giving him modafinil. He's taking one tablet in the morning. He said it's
how many milligrams?
It did not say.
Okay.
But he said he's taking one tablet in the morning or he couldn't get going at all, as far as getting out of bed.
Correct.
And he's wondering about taking 2 tablets.
Okay, so first off, well, you know the answer is you got to talk to your prescriber. Yeah. It depends on how strong what the milligram amount of the tablets are. If he's taking 50, a lot of docs will give you 100, and you're just taking one a day. The thing about modafinil, I would say when he said RA, he's talking about rheumatoid arthritis. So he's got rheumatoid arthritis, and one of the concomitant conditions that you can get with that is this thing called Sjogren's syndrome, where it's just an autoimmune disorder where the salivary glands are also attacked, and so they get dry mouth, etc. There's more to it than that, but that's the big thing. So, the fatigue is linked to inflammation, which can be caused by the disease itself. It could be caused by the medications. You may have pain, and so you are not moving as much as you used to,
and maybe having a little trouble sleeping at night because your mouth is dry.
Yes, maybe so,
and because you've got arthritis, or because you've got rheumatoid pain. And
I should
joints.
give you a bell for that, but I have to live with Tacey. So
I wasn't paying attention. You can give him.
Okay, she wasn't paying attention until the bell comes in. Now she's listening.
Now I'm pissed.
So we want to make sure your sleep is right. So if you have a smartwatch and watch your sleep cycles, if it's disordered, you might want to see a sleep specialist. I'm kind of getting on this sodium oxybate bandwagon for sleep disorders.
Okay.
If they have disordered sleep architecture.
Okay.
It is the sodium salt of gamma hydroxybutyrate, which is also known as the date rape drug. But it's just like fentanyl kills, but transdermal fentanyl is okay. Sure. Giving it as a medication is, it has a lot of uses.
Okay.
And for insomnia or a disordered sleep architecture, gamma hydroxybutyrate might be the thing, or the sodium salt, which is sold as Xyrem. And so I'm very interested in that if he has disordered sleep architecture. So you might want to go to a sleep specialist, get a sleep lab. You want to make sure. It would suck if it really wasn't your RA that's causing the problem, that you actually have sleep apnea.
I was going to say the same thing. If he's got sleep apnea, maybe he's got low testosterone, maybe he's got some other issues. He could add other things. So just make sure that before you go up on that medication, because he might be on a super low dose. And I've even seen it. I think it is possible, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
I will.
but if your pharmacist and your provider says you can break that in half, you can take the modafinil twice a day.
Oh, right.
I think. Yeah,
well, you can, but it doesn't. When I took it, it made me a little cranky, prickly, so I kind of weaned myself off of it. But it didn't really disorder my sleep very much, even if I took it later in the day.
Dude, when you were taking it, it was like you were on crack.
Oh, shut up. It's not. You don't even know when I was taking it.
Oh, yes, I do. You were wilder than a box of monkeys. Oh, my God.
Wilder than a box of monkeys.
I'm just telling you.
That's one of them old country sayings.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm sorry. Dennis is on 200 milligrams, so that's
kind
of higher. That's kind of higher end, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So the thing,
thank you,
Dennis, is that Phantom Dennis or a different Dennis? Just it says Dennis.
Dennis Dunn.
Oh, okay, Dennis Dunn. Okay. you want to make sure that it really is that and not something else. So I agree 100% with Dr. Scott. You need a fatigue workup, because one of the things that happens, if you have cancer, everything that happens to you, they blame on the cancer.
Right.
If you have rheumatoid arthritis, everything that happens to you, they're going to blame on the rheumatoid arthritis. You got fatigue, oh, that's rheumatoid. You got, pain, it's rheumatoid. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So make sure that they're not blinded by that,
Right.
and that they're do a routine fatigue workup. Okay,
Yep.
200 milligrams of modafinil is a pretty hefty dose.
Yeah.
Now there are other ones out there. There's armodafinil, which is Nuvigil.
Okay.
That is also generic now, I believe. Matter of fact, I know it is because they tried me on that as well. Now, when I'm driving to the beach, I take one of those and I never get sleepy, but you don't want to be in the car with me because I will not shut up. I'm just yak. I'm just talking the whole time. I have all these interesting thoughts and I have to get them out.
Oh, my goodness.
But let me tell you something. I drove from here where we live, it was 11 hours to Florida when I had my horrible bronchiectasis and the cough and stuff. They wouldn't let me on the plane. Tacey and Beck flew, and I drove down there, and then we ended up having a car. It just flew by.
How funny.
It was wonderful.
How
I
funny.
loved every minute of it.
Cool.
Yeah, so there you go. So there are other things that they could try.
Got another quick question if you
Yeah,
want.
sure, of course.
So B-Trex, what are our opinions on the predictive blood test for Alzheimer's?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know. B-Trex, how are they spelling that?
B
T-R-E-X?
T-R-E-X, yeah, almost like T-Rex, but B-Rex.
Yeah, okay.
B-T-Rex.
Oh, B-Rex or B-Trex?
B-Trex, yeah.
B-T-R-E-X?
Yes.
I don't
Isn't
see
that
anything
who's
on that.
asking the question?
That's who's asking the question, yeah.
Oh. For fuck's sake, I'm trying to look that up.
Poor
Okay.
thing.
Alzheimer blood test?
Yeah, Alzheimer's blood test, yeah.
Oh, okay. I know what this is. Yeah, they're looking for the byproducts of the neurofibrillary tangles, I think. Let me see if I'm right about that. I'll give myself a damn bell. Yeah, so they're looking at these proteins that beta amyloid levels. Yeah, so there is a blood test that measures beta amyloid levels, and those are felt to be some of the proteins that are clogging up the neural network.
Okay.
And then they have a tau 217. It's a study from Sweden in January of 2024 found that a blood test that detects tau 217, a variant of the tau protein, could be accurate as other tests in predicting Alzheimer's disease. And then there's another one, APOE4. It's a blood test for the strongest risk gene for Alzheimer's. So that's a genetic test. So they've got other blood tests in development. Let's just see here. This is something from Washington State University. Alzheimer's blood test performs as well as FDA-approved spinal fluid test. Could make early Alzheimer's diagnosis treatment accessible to more people. So let's see what their results were. The accuracy of this blood test enables us to diagnose the presence of Alzheimer's disease pathology with a single blood sample. But what we need is the sensitivity, the specificity, and the positive predictive value.
Okay.
So this one, they were measuring the ratio of this phosphorylated tau 217 to normal tau proteins that reliably reflects brain amyloid levels. That's an indirect measurement of risk for Alzheimer's. And I do not see here. The problem with it is we really don't have a great treatment for it. I mean, you can get people a little bit earlier on some of these medications like Namenda and things like that that delay progression of the disease. So if you could delay it earlier, you might be able to delay it longer, or you could have longer period of normalcy.
Right on.
But yeah, that's interesting. I am all about it. I obviously don't know as much about this as I should, and I will find out about that, and then we'll look into it further. I don't know if these things are on the market. I don't think so. I think it's still experimental. Let's see here. Let me look at one other places. Yeah, they still look like
They're still in testing?
They're still in phase whatever testing.
Well, don't you think for Alzheimer's, specifically Alzheimer's, that going ahead and working on your brain and doing brain games way ahead of time, just to keep yourself as active as intact, regardless of what the end is going to be,
right?
Is not going to hurt you. You know,
it says here. Oh, okay. This is from Mayo. Blood tests may help rule out other potential causes of memory loss and confusion, such as thyroid disorders. I have seen people that came in like classic Alzheimer's, just talking crazy talk, disoriented, confabulatory, in other words, making up stuff. Sure. Tangential, meaning that when you ask them a question, they answer a different question. And you check the thyroid, and it's low, you replace the thyroid, and they come back to normal again. I've had a couple of those cases in my career, and that makes you look awesome.
Yeah, you're a genius,
when you can take somebody out of the depths of dementia and bring them back to normal. But it says here, blood tests also can measure levels of beta amyloid protein and tau protein, but these tests are not widely available, and coverage is limited. So there you go. So I'm assuming if these things are really accurate and have and what I want to know is, what is the positive predictive value? In other words, if you have a positive test, what are the odds that that's actually looking at Alzheimer's and not something else? And if that number is pretty high, these things will be commercially available very soon.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
All right. Okay. Good.
Good question, B-Trex.
The Fluid family always playing Stump the Chump with me. So. All right.
I love it.
I like it. It's fine. I learned stuff doing that.
Thought I'd give you a call. It's Jacob.
Hey, Jacob.
I don't know if you know about this or not, but I launched a new dating website app. It's called nevermarrieddating.com. So nevermarrieddating.com.
Okay.
And the website's for people that have never been married.
Hence the name. Okay. So, yeah, very good. Hey, check out Jacob's website, nevermarried.com.
Gotcha.
Assuming that you've never been married before. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
All right. Good job, Jake. I guess he's a listener and just wanted us to know that. I like it.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
Hey.
Why don't tattoos rise to the top of your skin and just exfoliate away?
Excellent question. Stacey, you want to talk about that a little bit?
No.
No? Okay. All right. So there's a science to tattoos. And there's science to the skin, and the two must merge, or exactly what she's talking about will happen. The ink placement needs to be placed under the epidermis. The epidermis is the top layer of skin. That's the one that sloughs off.
Right.
The dermis underneath it does not slough off, and so you put the ink there, and then what happens is the immune system views it as foreign material, sends white blood cells over there, and these things called macrophages, which are like our body's versions of amoebas. They'll come in and they kind of, enfold foreign body, and they try to consume them, but they can't digest them, so they just sit there, and they help keep the ink in place actually. And the macrophages don't consume all the ink either, so that's one of the reasons that your tattoos will just stay in place. And mine have spread out a little bit over time, but not very much. When you first have them, they're very precise, and part of that does slough off. You get a little bit of scabbing and a little bit of bleeding in that area, and then some inflammation, and you want to keep something over it. And then over time it heals up, and then you just have a regular tattoo. If you want to keep them looking vibrant and crisp, take preventative skincare steps. Our buddy Sean Pedrick has very colorful tattoos all over the place, and it looks to me like he's never seen the sun.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And, his skin is just this, very light underneath those tattoos, which also helps to accentuate the tattoos.
Sure.
And but wearing sunscreen over your tattoos, moisturizing them, and then, they recommend hydration as well. But they recommend that for everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's why the place where they put the ink does not slough off.
Well, there you
And
go.
so the answer to the question, why don't they slough off, really ends up being because they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay.
Cool.
Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Hi, Dr. Scott, Tacey, and Dr. Steve. It's
Hey,
me
man.
again. So about being on those beta blockers, I have noticed since starting them that it's harder to completely void my bladder. You know, I'll go piss in the urinal and it'll seem like I'm totally done. I'll even wait and, you know, shake it out a whole bunch of extra times. Do that, you know, that male Kegel maneuver several times, trying to make sure I'm totally empty. And then slip it back in and immediately dribble some piss in my pants. I'm
Okay.
like, what the fuck? This is so
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
Okay,
we're running out of time. Beta blockers can decrease the ability of the sphincter in the bladder to relax. A lot of times they cause people to have an overactive bladder. But the thing that you want to do if you're dribbling in your pants, it's because you're not shaking right. You don't shake your member. You want to get down to the very base at the bulbourethral area and massage it forward because it's all being held in the base. And then when you put it back in your pants, that's when the urine is released and you end up, getting a place in your pants. So anyway, all right. Hey, thanks for calling. Check your stupid nuts for lumps. Quit smoking. Get off your asses. Get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, this track intentionally left blank. Okay, podcast intro and outro. You got anything else in the fluid? Oh, we got to go over super chats.
Yeah, the super chat thingies.
Hey, Pony Power.
Peg leg.
Pony Power.
Peg leg. And
Peggles. Myrtle Manus.
Myrtle Manus.
All right. Well, you want me to do the super chats, and then you can scan for other questions or comments?
There were no other questions, but there was one funny thing I'll say, and then we can wrap it up.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good. All right.
Yep.
Well. All right, Dr. Scott, before we get out of here, let's look at the Fluid Family. If you want to join the Fluid Family, go to youtube.com/@weirdmedicine, and you can just subscribe, like and subscribe the channel. You can hang out with us when we're recording. And if you will do that, click the join button, but you don't have to pay anything to join if you don't want to. But do click the button that says accept gifted memberships. And we had McRibs and several other people got Donna P., Chris Mack, and some others got free memberships from Myrtle Manus. So Myrtle Manus,
Thank you, Myrtle.
Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Well, let's see. We also have Peg Leg. Thank you, Peg Leg, for $1.99. This looks like a super sticker or something. Didn't say anything. Oh, just a heart. Thank you. I'll put a little like on that. And then Pony Power. Welcome to the Fluid Family, my friend. And when you do subscribe to the channel, Myrtle will jump up and give you a howdy do and say, your name and that you subscribe to the channel. It's so dumb. A dumb puppet. But anyway, what have you got, Dr. Scott?
Well, no more questions, but we do have
Okay.
something good to end on. So Thomas, and I'm going to butcher his last name, Gajewski, Gajeski.
Yeah, Gajewski.
Gajewski. Yeah, sorry.
Who knows? It could be Gajewski or something.
Anyway, Thomas has the quote of the day. It says, "Screw P.A. John, fluid."
Oh wow, linger longer.
So that's a long time
It
brewing
certainly
there,
is,
Thomas. So thank
yes.
you, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yes, screw
we agree.
P.A. John.
All mad respect to BM John, though.
Yes, we do.
Brewmaster John made some of the best beer I've ever had, and he's not doing it anymore. I mean, he's doing it as a hobby now, not as a business. He sold his brewery, but there was. I asked him one time, would you hope to make a bunch of decent, solid beers, or make one or two of the best beers anybody's ever had? And he said the latter, and he did that.
Sure.
He had a stout that was nitrogenated. It's one of the best things I ever had, and he had an imperial stout that kicked my ass, but it was fantastic. It was absolutely, and I don't drink a lot of beer anymore, but matter of fact, that was some of the last beer that I ever drank, but it was some of the best I ever had.
That was good stuff.
I was very sad when he closed his business because I enjoyed going there. It was a fun, kind of funky place to go.
A fun place to go, yep.
But anyway, all right.
All right, guys.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. Thanks always go to Dr. Scott. Thanks, Tacey. Thanks to everyone who's made this show happen over the years. Listen to our SiriusXM show on the Faction Talk channel, SiriusXM channel 103, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, but more importantly, on demand. That helps us more than anything. Other times at Jim McClure's pleasure. And you know what happened, though? I got several emails saying, hey, all of the shows are the same, and they were all listening on demand.
Oh, wow.
That's where it was. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for catching that. Lewis was like, no, they're all there. And I said, you got to listen to them because I've got a bunch of emails about it. And he checked it out, and something had happened in the system that just duplicated all the MP3 files, but had put the right names, show names on there.
Sure.
So thank you for that. But thank you for listening on demand. And many thanks to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Check us out on Normal World. We've got the fragrance. Why am I having trouble saying that? The fragrance of Flatus coming up this week, and then next 2 weeks from now will be female ejaculation, myths and facts. We'll pack all that into 3 minutes. It'll be an interesting chore. Go to our website at drsteve.com for schedules, podcasts, and other crap. Don't forget about Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps, quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, then let's do the opening. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I almost threw up that time.
This is not how sane people act.
Scorn and defiance, slight regard, contempt.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by two really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valves, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic, echographic, and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent of Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in a tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve!
From the world-famous Cardiff Electric Network studios in beautiful downtown Tukey City, it's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio. Now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medicine provider who gives us street cred with the wacko alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Good afternoon.
And my partner in all things, Tacey. Hello, Tacey.
Hello.
This is a show for people who had never listened to a medical show on the radio or the internet. If you have a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call, 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine or at DrScottWM. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. Most importantly, we're not your medical providers. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking it over with your healthcare provider. Check out stuff.drsteve.com, stuff.drsteve.com. I'm hoping over the vacation maybe I can work on it a little bit, make it a little bit better. But right now it still works. Please use it. And scroll down and see Rody, robotic tuner, and the Rody coach, which will teach you how to play your instrument. Or you can go to Rody, ROADIE.drsteve.com for more information. Check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net and our Patreon, patreon.com/weirdmedicine, putting lots of eclectic stuff on there. There's got to be something that you will like on patreon.com. There's even recipes there, but only cool ones. I called that whole collection recipes that will get you laid. All right? So they're on there. There's whole shows. There's audio podcasts that you can't get anywhere else. Question and answer, all kinds of stuff. There's supposed to be live streams. We had, for a while there, we were doing the exam room where we had celebrities call in and ask us questions. I would like to do that again. I always feel kind of weird asking somebody, will you come on my show? So I have not been doing that. And then cameo.com/weirdmedicine. We had one the other day that it gave me the person's email address, and so it turns out it was somebody I know very well from Hackamania and WATP events, and I didn't recognize his name. But it was even funnier that way because I got his name wrong. It was giving me his email address. But anyway, I'll say fluid to your mama. I'll do whatever you want. We could do it from the studio. One person asked for me to do Myrtle just for a long time because his wife hated it. And I think that was that might have been me calling in for my own cameo because my wife hates it. Yeah. Well, she surely is a good man to eat. All right, my friends. Anything else?
No, I think it's good.
Nope, that's it.
All right. Thank you.
Are we done?
Yep, we are dumb.
Do you want this on?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
All right. Save as. Thanks, Taste.
You're the best.
No, don't go overboard.
Tee-hee.
Okay, today is the 17th.
Today is the 17th. Yep, and the broadcast day is going to be the 27th. So it's 07/17/24 and 07/27/24.
27. Got it. All right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Right, you want to play something?
Yeah, let's play one.
You want to play?
Let's play one.
I've been practicing my whistling for all of me.
Oh, have you?
But I don't know that I can play the bass and do it at the same time. It's too much for my dumb brain.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have to because I can.
I
can
carry stop playing the bass during the whistling.
Yeah, just whistle. Let me email you the file.
What file?
The show file we just did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, we got the topics, rather, I guess is a better way to put it.
So we'll try to perfect this song, and then we'll play something different. You could teach me one of the songs from the live thing that I don't know if you want.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
We'll
and I'll just carry the rhythm.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
All right. And I'll practice playing it with the bass too. That's a skill I need to acquire. right?
I believe so. Just G. All of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my arms, I want to lose them. Well, take my lips, I'll never use them. Girl, goodbye. Left me with eyes that cry, and I know I'm no good without you. You took the part of me that was my heart, so why not take all of me? All of me, why not take all of me? Well, can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my arms, I want to lose them. Take my lips, I'll never ever use them. Your goodbye left me with eyes that cry, and I know I'm no good without you. You took the part of me that once was my heart, so why not take all of me? I said, why not take all of me? Oh, sorry.
B7. Almost got it.
I like
now,
it.
If I can do the walking bass while I'm whistling,
got it.
But I got to concentrate on one or the other, and then I mess up.
Dude, when you start trying to do those two things in concert, it's tough. I mean, it's just tough. Tough. I love it. Love it.
Anyway, getting there.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, we're close.
You want to play some Patsy Cline, or what do you want to play?
Let's do one from the upcoming show there.
Okay, what's it called?
Let's do
one. You know, I don't.
How comfortable are you with Copperhead Road?
I don't know anything about it.
Copperhead Road from Steve Earle.
Don't know it.
All right, it's in D.
I don't know any of these songs.
It's in D. It's
Which one are we doing? 1292?
Yeah, 1292. Yep.
Okay.
And you're just you just get yours is just a driving bass, just a driving.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Bum 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 bum.
You want me to actually play that melody?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you'll do that, yeah, perfect.
But that's not D.
G, C, D.
You want me to?
Yeah, that's
what you want me to do.
If you could do that.
Okay, it's an A, but that's part of the D.
It's part of the D chord.
D scale. Yeah.
D,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
So. Well, my name's Johnny Pettimore, same as my daddy and his daddy before. Hardly ever saw Granddaddy down here. Only came to town about twice a year. Buy 100 pounds of yeast and some copper line. Everybody knew that he made moonshine. Gee, never ever knew a man when his granddaddy bad headed up a holler with everything he had. Before my time, but I've been told he'll never come back from Copperhead Road. Now Daddy ran whiskey in his big black Dodge, bought an auction at a Mason's Lodge. Johnson County Sheriff painted on the side, just a shot coat of primer and he looked inside. Well, his mom tore that engine down. I still remember that rumbling sound. That sounds good. Gee. Well, the sheriff came around in the middle of the night, heard Mama crying, something wasn't right. Headed down to Knoxville with a weekly load. You can smell the whiskey burning down Copperhead Road. Ha! Volunteered for the Army on my birthday. They dropped the white trash first round here anyway. Done 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. I came home with a brand new plan. I'd take seed from Colombia and Mexico, landed up a holler down Copperhead Road. That sounds good. Well, the DA's got a chopper in the air. Woke up screaming like I'm back over there. Learned a thing or two from Charlie, don't you know? Better stay away from Copperhead Road. Aha! Copperhead Road. Ha! Copperhead Road. There you go. That sounds good. Copperhead Road. You started getting that sound at the end.
Yeah,
that
was terrible.
No,
that can't be how the bass goes on that song.
That's how. It's really not. It's really not. But that sounds good. The first part.
No, but I mean that it just does that.
Yes.
That's what the bass does during the chorus. I mean, during the verse.
During the verse, the second and third specifically. The first chorus is just really quiet. It's just the first. The first verse is just.
I gotta hear
just
this
kind
song.
of it's just kind
I'll
of.
play it the way they play it. But
Yeah, it's a
seems
really
too monotonous.
It's a really it kind of tells the story of living. Kind of.
Oh no, the song is great, but I'm just saying the bass part sounds monotonous.
Yeah, the bass part.
I'll listen to it.
But what about do you remember the old one, Third Rate Romance from the Amazing Rhythm Aces?
Yes. You want to do that?
Yeah, we're gonna play that day.
Okay.
And it's a boom, 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 boom.
I don't know what that means. We're playing it in A.
Yep. Sitting at a tiny ritzy restaurant, she was staring at my coffee cup, trying to keep his courage up while applying the booze. The talk was small when they talked at all, and they both, I'm sorry, no need to talk about it. Old enough to scope it out and keep it loose. She said, you don't look like my type, but I think you'll do. Third-rate romance, no rendezvous. She said, I'll even tell you I love you if you want me to. Third-rate romance, no rendezvous. There you go. Left the bar where they got in this car and they drove away. They drove the family in. She didn't even have to pretend she didn't know what for. They went to the desk and he made his request and they waited outside. He came back with the key. She said, give it to me and I'll unlock the door. She kept saying, I've never really done this kind of thing before. Have you? Third-rate romance, no-rate rendezvous. He said, yes, I have, but only a time or two. Third-rate romance, no-rate rendezvous. Third-rate romance, no-rate rendezvous. Third-rate romance, no-rate rendezvous. I said a third-rate romance, no-rate rendezvous. See, I can play that, but I can't do that and sing it. John sings this. That's just such a fun song. That is such
I see what I was doing.
What were you doing?
I got the music up. I was hitting a G at the end. That's actually the seventh of the A. That's why it sounded so weird at the end. And I was like, why do I have to hit? This is the 12th fret. So, but anyway, I was looking at G and so I was supposed to be playing A.
Gotcha.
Oh, Sean. Thanks for the $1.99. You don't, dude.
Hey, Sean, what's up, dude?
Love and miss you guys. See you next month. Yes, sir. my swan song will be the last time I do a live performance like that.
I love that song.
Retiring.
Let's do.
You want to do it again, or are you good with it?
No, I think we're good with that. Let's do.
Dang lizard.
Dang lizard.
Thank you, my friend. Gifted 10 Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve memberships. Thank you. I priced them low so people would feel like they could gift a bunch of memberships just for fun.
We've already done. We've done.
I've put a couple of members only things up. I'll put them up for a couple of days, members only, and then put them out for the public. So.
That's cool. Let's finish with a dead song, and we'll get out of here.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Let's do Bertha.
Bertha?
Yep.
Okay. That's a good one. Which version are we doing?
I'm doing version 2. That's got 624.
Oh, why am I on a tab? I don't need a tab for this.
No. I had a hard run, running from your window, all night running, wondering if you care. I had a running down. Run around the corner, right smack into a tree. I had to move, really had to. That's why I am on. Dress myself in green, went down under the sea. Tried to see what's going down, tried to read between those lines. Had a feeling I was falling. Turned around to see. Heard the voices calling. You were coming after me. I had to move, really had to. That's why I am on. Bertha, don't you come around anymore. Ready to rainstorm, ducked back into a bar door. All night pouring down, but not a drop on me. Test me, test me, test me, test me, test me, test me. Why don't you arrest me? Throw me under the jailhouse, yeah, till that sun goes down. I had to why I am on my bended knees. Dr. Steve.
Fun song.
Oh, I love it. That's the favorite one. That's one everybody loves to play or listen to and dance.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh man, that
Like
goes
it.
good.
If I practiced every once in a while, I might actually be able to play it decent. All right.
It wouldn't take much for you. Yo, Sean, I hope you're doing
Oh,
well.
Corn Diff, member for 5 months.
Well, Corn Diff.
Thank you
well,
for
thank
being a
Corn
member
Diff.
of the Fluid family, my friend.
Neck ribs.
All right, let's see who else we got in there. There's Amanda, thank you. Amanda, congratulations. She knows why. And brother JP. Oh, okay, and She Dabbled. I've never seen She Dabbled in here. But you can get a membership even if you're not here as long as you're subscribed.
Right on.
All right, Ding Lizard, thank you.
Thank you, guys. We will not see you this Saturday or next Saturday.
Well, that's right.
We were out for 2 Saturdays, though.
Yeah, I'll be doing some live streams.
Okay, sorry.
I
Yeah,
believe, I
Yeah,
believe I will do some live streams. We'll see. I have an idea for this new live stream, and it's going to be on a different channel, but I think it's going to be fun.
Okay, cool.
You know, there's this guy, Mr. Handpay, and Mr. Handpay does these videos where he'll put 500 grand into a slot machine and play with it. It's ridiculous. And I
Like
saw
literally
one,
a bunch of money?
literally. I mean, like 1,000. Okay, I'm going to put 20,000 in, 20,000 in, until he gets a bonus, he gets his money back. A lot of times he does. Sometimes he ends up 10, 20,000 under, but then he'll go play blackjack, and he'll do a table maximum be $20,000, $20,000 hands, get his money back. Well, anyway, I found this website, and it is absolutely the shittiest online casino I've ever seen. And you play with sweepstakes money, and there's a bunch of them like that. But they have horrible games, like this leprechaun that hits hens' eggs, and then like whack-a-mole, and then some of them have prizes in them and stuff. And I thought it would be fun rather than putting $500,000 in, we'll put $20 in. And see how long we can make it last, and just make fun of the game and play different games and stuff. Bossman Jack plays on one of those websites, but he'll swing. He has $200,000, and then he'll lose it all in a day.
Oh my!
I'm not going to do anything like that.
No question.
But I think just putting $20 in there and just being like Mr. I don't know, Pinky Pay or something. Yeah. I haven't figured out the name of it. If anybody has any ideas, but just kind of shitting on these 2-bit websites that you can do money on, I think it'd be kind of fun. So, because I was doing one the other night, and I was just laughing at how ridiculous it was. There's one where these concrete balls, and there's just this giant hammer, and it hits them, and sometimes you just have to hit it like 20 times, other times it'll smash it the first time, and you bet like $1 per ball, maybe you get 40 cents back. It's like, oh, you won 40. No, you lost 60 cents.
Oh my God.
So it's just
bizarre.
It sounds worse than it really would be. I think it would be fun.
That's cool.
All right, I'll try it.
You can figure it out on
I may do some of those while I'm on vacation, just because everybody goes to bed and leaves me alone. So go out on the porch. Anyway, we'll see. All right. Thanks, everybody. Little spoiler for.
That's funny. That is funny.
Yeah, Dr. Steve Lesh, right, Live Ween. I could be if I practiced. I would never be as good as Phil Lesh, but I could be in that zone for sure. I love playing the Dead, though. Those are fun songs to do. Every one of their songs that we've ever done is just fun to play. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, McRibs. Just nursing $20. We'll see how long it goes. And if I lose it in 5 minutes, that's how long the stream is. But if I double it, I'll also quit. Just to show poor boss man Jack, just quit. Beck will watch with me sometimes. And it's like he gets up 80,000 and then it's like, stop. And he goes, oh, dude, I just lost $4,000. Well, just stop. No, I got to get it back. And then he'll keep going until he loses it all.
I think it's called an addiction.
Yeah, no, he is a degenerate gambler, that's for sure.
Do you still have time to run down
Yeah, let's go do it.
You don't mind?
Okay,
You
all
don't
right.
mind?
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Save the show.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good.
Okay, we're good. All right, thanks. Take care. Phil Lesh just ordered some of the prescription glasses Dr. Steve wears in an attempt to harness his power. Bull, shut up. Live Ween actually can play. That dude is an amazing musician. So, all right, take care, everybody. See you at DabbleCon in 1 month. Can't wait.